His teacher has told us that, you know, a lot of kids with autism, and some don't run, but there are some that do. So I was at a Fairway store, and I just walked in. I had his hand, and I had the umbrella, and I go up to a cart, and I know I've got to close the umbrella, but that requires me letting go of Tristan's hand. And I thought, okay, just 2 seconds. 2 seconds. I'm going to let his hand go. I'm going to close the umbrella quick and put him in the cart. Let his hand go, and that second I look over at him, and you know, all of a sudden he's free, and he went, and bam, took off.
Vicky, come back here! Vicky, come back! Come back here!
2 seconds later, was in the back room of the store. That day I realized if I had been in the parking lot and let his hand go, he could have been in the street. He could have been hit by a car. And so that's when I, you know, really was like, oh my gosh.
Get out of the road! What's the matter with you?
A lot of the times they'll run, they'll start taking off, and they look back to see how far they got. And she said the thing that was scary about Tristan is he never looks back.
It was about when he was 2 years old that we received the diagnosis of his autism disorder.
Tristan was just hyper. His mind doesn't stop, just all over the place all the time.
If something like a flashing light or a fan or something like that caught his eye, he would just instantly be drawn to it and completely lose focus of what was going on at the time.
They came over and came to the kennel for the first time, which has got a lot of activities, a lot of dogs, a lot of things going on, you know. But Tristan came into the building, and we were trying to catch dogs and put them in their kennels as fast as Tristan was opening the doors and letting them out. It was absolute, total chaos.
Changes in routine was very, very difficult. Even driving the car a different route.
Pull out of our driveway the wrong way instead of the same way. We usually put out the same way every time. If we pulled out a different way, he would notice and start screaming.
He's always been a very loving child, but sometimes he would act inappropriate, like go up and just randomly go hug somebody and not let go and want them to, you know, give him a kiss on his neck.
We felt kind of in the last 3 years, I would say, we've kind of felt like prisoners in our own home. We went to his friend's house in Cedar Rapids, and we're in their backyard, and he keeps running towards the grill that's hot, and we left that day going, we can't go out anymore until he calms down.
It started about a year ago when we had a party at our new house, and my aunt from California was in town. And she brought her yellow lab, Henry, with her.
First of all, Mason's mom called me, and I just got done reading this book. I think it's called Dog Named Henry, okay? And it was coincidental because, or ironic, however you want to say it, because she called me on the phone and said, you know, our grandson was just here for the week. We had a relation out from, you know, California or somewhere out west, and they brought their dog, the big yellow lab named Henry. I was like, really? You know, that was the dog in the book.
He was just drawn to this dog. I mean, he followed the dog around the entire party. He actually just had his hand on the dog's back the whole time and never left its side and rolled around on the ground with it. When we saw Tristan with Henry, the yellow lab, we really started to think, wow, maybe this might be something be good for him.
We were having a big, you know, fundraising event for Tristan, and Scott brought 2 of the Retrieving Freedom dogs to the event just to show people, you know, what the dogs do and how they help. And instantly, as soon as Tu got out of the car, her and Tristan met, and Tristan was on the ground rolling around, and Tu was just really loving and into Tristan, and we were like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. We're taking all these pictures, and then it kind of just started from there.
And you could see instantly that little nudging of Tu coming up to him. And that minute on, Tristan would come over, he's like, where's Tu? Where's Tu? And we didn't even know that Tu was going to be Tristan's dog at this point. We were just trying to get evolved and figure out which dogs we were going to match with.
After we were matched up with two, then we began training with Retrieving Freedom. The first thing we worked on was just the tethering process and having Tristan walk with two. And he caught on pretty quick, but we had to teach Tristan that anytime he walked with the dog, he had to hold on to the handle. Because initially when he wore his vest and the vest was tethered to the dog, he just kind of would try to run around, and if he saw something, he still might bolt to it. But once he learned that he doesn't go anywhere unless he's holding his handle and he's walking with the dog, he kind of picked on it quick, and then it really worked pretty well after that.
He's just helped him focus more. When two is here and just present in the same room, he doesn't have to be sitting right next to two, but just in the room, Tristan's mood just completely calms, so he's able to focus more on whatever task he is doing.
Two will nudge or put her paws up, like up on his lap if he wants to lay with her, or she'll come up on the couch and lay down. She'll tether with him, so they can go out and walk through a store and they're tethered together, and if Tristan takes off to go running, she'll lay down. Number two, she can help with his social skills, in public places and get people approaching and talking to Tristan.
Before we had two, people would come up in public and ask Tristan questions. They would say, "How old are you? What's your name?" And maybe 25% of the time he would answer them. Every time we've been out in public and I've seen someone that I know and they come up and they say, "Tristan, what's your dog's name?" He always says, "Tu. Tu's my dog." So, and that's 100% of the time. So, I mean, it's a small thing, but there definitely has been some more interaction. The very first time that we brought two back to the house, it was kind of interesting. Tristan said, "I want to show two go pee-pee on the potty," because Tristan's in the middle of potty training right now. And we've been working on that for well over a year and really haven't got very far with it. And he doesn't do it all the time, but I think just that first time that he did it kind of sparked something, and we're getting very close to having Tristan potty trained. He's in his regular big boy underwear all the time and hasn't had an accident in weeks. And I don't know if two was a part of that. Maybe it was coincidence, but the fact that he said that the first time she came home, I thought was pretty interesting.
This dog is a godsend. I mean, it's just a sense of relief.
I mean, this dog knows when people are stressed. They're just there for the child. It's
almost uncomprehendable of his development since bringing two into their household. I think Tristan's transition through this whole thing has been the ability to go to new places and realize that tomorrow he gets to come back. It's that building process of, I get to go out of the house now, I get to go to Walmart, I get to go to the dentist, I get to go to fun places, I go there with two, and tomorrow we're gonna do it all over again.
He's a different child, completely different. He's not all over the place like he was before. He is calmer, even when the dog's not around, but you definitely notice much more of a difference when she is.
Two has allowed him to live, to go places, to do things, and that has calmed him down to the point where we can't even explain it. It's just the unreal part of a dog.
We're able to go and do things together, and Tristan's able to interact with more people, and Jake's able to go out and interact with more people, and it's just it's an unexplainable thing to feel his safety, and us to just have this calm.
Stay. The first trip that we took to Walmart was such an incredible experience. I was shaking when we got Tristan and two out of the car, because I don't think he had been to Walmart when he wasn't in a cart since he had been able to walk. Because the one time that we tried it years and years ago, he got loose, and in a blink of an eye, he was halfway down the aisle ripping things off the shelves and just running, grabbing things out of people's carts. So when he was outside of the car in the parking lot and not connected to me, and I wasn't holding on to him, my heart was going 1,000 miles an hour. But it was amazing. He just held his handle, walked right in, walked down the aisles. We did about 4 or 5 laps around Walmart, and he was fine the whole time.
It just builds us like Lincoln Logs or building blocks, is when you start getting to go to Walmart or go to Shields or go somewhere where you're feeling comfortable going in there, well then the next step you might get to go to a basketball game, you know, where it's a crowd and it's a band and it's louder, and you know, it's not just walking down an aisle with a few customers, it's similar to chaos, right?
I hope, you know, to help him socially, you know, interact with others. You know, that's our main thing. We want him to be able to, you know, have friends, and, you know, common interest. The dog is a common interest. You know, lots of people love dogs. So I just want him to be accepted and to be, you know, people to appreciate him. So that's all I can hope for, is to be accepted.
I would definitely like to say thanks to the Kuhn family. You know, they've been an exceptional group to start with on one of our first placements with a child with autism. All of it is a constant learning curve, and the Kuhn family has been a great, classic example of how, you know, perfect it can work out.
I'm learning to talk again. Can't you see I'm waiting?